This is video taxes number 359 in brackets 2, medical expenses, travel. Just joking. This my daughter did. I have to get it in so that I can write off part of her salary. Anyway, medical expenses dash travel. In an April 5th, 2011 technical interpretation, CRA notes that under paragraph 118.2 in brackets 2G as in George, payments made to a person engaged in the business of providing transportation services, somebody who will take your client 40 kilometers to the hospital, that's an eligible medical expense. They also mention that under paragraph H, 118.2 sub 2H, that reasonable travel expenses can also be claimed by the parent, by the patient. This is the person that goes from Toronto to Vancouver or Toronto to Germany or someplace to get some medical that they have to do. You have to travel at least 80 kilometers. The good thing here is the travel expenses that you can claim for medical accommodation, meals, parking, transportation, and also for an accompanying patient. If you can get the doctor to give you a certificate that certifies that the patient is incapable of traveling alone, then the accompanying person gets to write off all their costs. CRA also notes that the cost for meals and expenditures while at a medical facility. So while you're at the hospital, any expenses you incur are eligible medical expenses. And if you're an outpatient and staying at a hotel, that's also a medical expense. So it's pretty good. Gwen Moore has been very generous here. Thanks, Gwen. She's from the CRA. Eligible costs may include meals and accommodations for the individual accompanying the patient if the patient is certified as being unable to travel alone. Now, moving expenses. You don't have to change employers to get a deduction for moving expenses. This guy here was a salesman. He got a new sales territory, and the new sales territory was a 2-hour drive from where his house is. So he moved, or not he. Yeah, no, he. Yeah, it's a technical interpretation. I don't know if it's a he or she. It moved, and it was a 2-hour drive. So the question for CRA was, can they deduct the moving expense? There wasn't a change of employer, but there was a change of employment location. And CRA says, good enough. The expansion of the sales territory was significant enough. It resulted in a new work location, so you get the moving expense deduction, even though in this technical interpretation there was a 2-year gap from changing. So they drove for 2 years, there's 2 hours, and then they moved. Still, there is enough sufficient nexus between the move and the commencement of the employment that the relocation occurred to enable them to, and they qualified as eligible moving expenses. So there you go. That's some interesting medical and moving for you.